From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Over the past 24 hours, our temperatures have dropped. We're seeing the Barney colors now on the map, looking like around 10 to 20 degrees colder across most areas. And that means for our bus stop forecast, it'll look nice, but it won't feel it. 11 the temperature if we're lucky by 8 a.m. And then we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 20s for the afternoon with a little less sunshine. That little bit of sunshine we get today is going to be gone for the rest of the forecast, and we'll replace it with snow. And I'll talk about that coming up as 6 News This Morning continues.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Former President Jimmy Carter will be honored with a state funeral today before being buried in his hometown in Georgia. Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Thursday, January 9th. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Megan Vaselli. Thank you so much for joining us.
6 News is here for you now with this morning's top stories. Today is a national day of mourning. That'll include a state funeral for the United States' 39th President, Jimmy Carter.
The ceremony will take place at the Washington National Cathedral starting at 10 o'clock this morning. A second service will take place in his hometown in Georgia, where he'll be laid to rest alongside his late wife, Rosalind.
The dual funerals conclude 6 days of national funeral rites for the former president, who died December 29th at the age of 100. President Joe Biden is expected to deliver the eulogy. Carter's other living successors are expected to attend along with other dignitaries. Meanwhile, his afternoon funeral in Plains, Georgia is a small affair limited to family and friends only. 6 News will continue with coverage of his funeral service on air and online at WLNS.com.
The administrator of the Shari Zedek congregation in East Lansing and a producer here at 6 News now faces criminal charges. Prosecutors say he tried to meet up for sex with someone he thought was an underage boy.
Court records indicate that Mark Silberstein tried to meet up over the weekend with someone he thought was between 13 and 15 years old. Eaton County prosecutor Doug Lloyd says the teen turned out to be a decoy and that it was an investigator who had been communicating with him the entire time.
Silberstein was formally charged Monday with 3 felonies: attempted third-degree criminal sexual conduct, accosting a minor for immoral purposes, and using a computer to commit a crime. He posted bond, so he's not behind bars, and he has been suspended from his duties here at the station.
Separately, the former Mason Planning Commission chair, Seth Waxman, has been released from jail in Wells County, Indiana, where he was held after being arrested last year on child sex charges. This comes after the judge there agreed to lower Waxman's bond to $5,000 while he awaits trial. Waxman is accused of driving 165 miles from Mason to Bluffton, Indiana, to have sex with a 13-year-old who turned out to be a decoy online. He's charged with felonies, including soliciting a minor for sex.
Police now are investigating after 2 dogs were found tied up and abandoned at the DeWitt Township Fire Department. Investigators want to hear from anyone who can help identify them. Take a look. The Clinton County Sheriff's Office says both are male dogs and neither has been neutered. The number for Clinton County Animal Control is on your screen right now. Give them a call if you know anything that can help. As a reminder, if you have a pet that you can no longer care for and want to surrender, do not leave it tied up outside. Instead, contact Animal Control or your local shelter for help.
The Clinton Township Police Department is now praising a sergeant after rescuing a man who drove into a pond last week. The incident happened early in the morning on New Year's Eve at a retention pond near an apartment complex. Once officers arrived at the scene, they found a black SUV floating on the surface of the water. When it began sinking, the Clinton Township Police Department says Sergeant Bates entered the cold water and swam towards the vehicle. The driver of the SUV was not responding, but the sergeant was able to get the person out just in time. Bates held onto a rescue rope and the driver, and they were pulled to safety by officers.
At least 5 people have died in what's now being considered the deadliest fire event in Los Angeles County history.
3 new fires have now erupted in the past 24 hours, forcing many residents to flee to safety, while others return to find nothing left.
Danya Backus is here for you now with the latest.
An apocalyptic scene in Southern California as thousands of acres burned from multiple brush fires. Wednesday evening, a new inferno erupted in the Hollywood Hills.
Our house, you can tell it's next, and we're getting out.
Area streets were once again gridlocked with new mandatory evacuation orders in effect for thousands more residents.
Please leave the area.
The scope of damage already done is now visible for the Hernandez family who lost their home in the Eaton fire.
The only thing that's basically standing is the chimney. And yeah, now it's nothing.
This is an example of what's left of Altadena's business district. Building after building wiped out, some of them still smoldering. Hundreds of firefighters from all across the country have been working around the clock to try to contain the fire. Fire departments and equipment are stretched thin, with some hydrants running dry due to demand.
They're exhausted. We need those reinforcements coming in, but they've done incredible work.
We're looking at something horrific.
Kevin Pazarande and his family got out early from their Pacific Palisades neighborhood.
We've got our car, we've got our family. We are in no immediate personal, physical, financial threat.
Now they and so many others keep watch, hoping their home will be spared. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It's a cold morning in mid-Michigan with snow still on the ground, and that matches the vibe. We have a dusting of snow in mostly our western counties just from what fell overnight, but that has extended slightly to the east there. So if you do see a little snow on the ground, don't be surprised. Also, that could be slippery, so be careful. That lake effect is still more towards the Kalamazoo, South Haven area, but it is slowly drifting east, it looks like, so cold water could have some flurries here for the morning. Mostly, though, we're dry today, and many of us are starting out with sunshine. Now, those clouds will start to move east with time, so we'll increase our cloud cover in the afternoon. That just means that us early risers get to see the sun, and the worst of this cold. An Arctic air mass is dropping temperatures to 4 here in Lansing, 0 in Alpena, even colder up in Canada. But to be fair, if you don't want to go outside like Yertle the turtle, there's still plenty to see out the window this morning. We do have the sunrise to look forward to, and when we get into the afternoon, even though the clouds will cover up with the sun a little bit, our temperatures will recover into the 20s. So it's par after that. Same as what we had all week, feeling like it's in the upper teens with a wind chill. And then we look forward to snow tomorrow, or I look forward to it. Yeah. I'm not sure about the viewers.
I have been meaning to tell you this all morning, both of you. I met the nicest couple, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, at the store yesterday. And they recently moved to the area from up north. Oh. And they were working with the Weather Service and doing things up north with the snow and all that. And so, yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, so welcome to the area.
Oh, and that's the story.
They're not used to the snow.
I was waiting for something else.
They are used to the snow.
They saw you and you were doing some sort of magic to try to get it to snow or something.
No, it just a lovely couple at the store.
$20 bill in the wind trying to get more snow.
They found the $20.
Yeah. So now they come down here and there's snow again. So
there you go.
For once, works out. All right, well, coming up, a motel in Lansing is in the spotlight this morning for helping families stay warm. We've got the details in our What's on the Web segment.
All right.